So, hi, my name is Joseph Casepier. I'm an engineer by training. I'm also the founder and CEO of my startup, Terrestrious, a community platform I am building for crowdsourcing ideas and resources to fight environmental problems like climate change. Before I started working on my platform, I always found it difficult to think about the environment, climate change, and what part I could play to help solve these problems. What, if anything, is my duty of care as a citizen of this planet? The problem was that the environment always felt out of reach for me, and as an academic topic isn't one I find the most interesting. And I wasn't the only one. According to a poll we ran, 79% of respondents also felt that they didn't have a platform to do anything about climate change. So I thought, what can I do that is more engaging than following activists or climatologists on various media and more impactful than my just doing my best to put my garbage in the right bins? So I wondered what I can do with my professional skills. So I'm going to go on a tangent if you indulge me. Or I'm going to go on a tangent if you indulge me. So I love medieval fantasy RPGs, where the main character walks into an adventurer's guild hall and chooses quests from a bulletin board that are tailored for their strengths and skill set. And I thought that in life we may not be powerful knights or gallant wizards or fighting some dark lord, but we are skilled professionals faced with problems like climate change or habitat destruction. So I wanted to make a quest board where, in a similar fashion to a knight choosing an adventure that is tailored to them, I can connect professionals to the opportunities where they can make the most positive impact for our planet. Examples include connecting an engineer to renewable energy projects, pairing an accountant with a job at an ESG, or even letting people post their own quests, etc. Terrestrious is a social media platform where professionals and students can discuss environment-related topics, work on and crowdsource for projects, be they startups or research or anything else to make innovations in clean tech. And for the less self-driven, connect with eco-friendly jobs and opportunities to really maximize our potential for a positive impact. My team and I are currently trying to build traction for our startup. So if you know anyone who's doing anything interesting in terms of sustainability, please introduce us. And if you'd like to stay updated on our progress, please be sure to sign up for our newsletter and Discord community at terrestrious.com. We always appreciate the support. Thank you very much. And any questions?
Love it.
Yay.
Short and sweet and straight to the point. I love it. Love it. I can start with a question, and feel free, everyone else, to just use the raise hand or post in the chat. When you say sustainability, that's an unknown kind of area for me. So it sounds really broad. But is there a specific type of sustainability industries that would be best, or connections?
We welcome any content. I mean, we're starting out right now, so I'd like to set a tone for projects that are a little bit more impactful than, let's say, just picking up trash on the side of the highway. But because I kind of want to give the feeling that that there's actually hope for ending climate change, and that goes beyond just projects to limit our impact on the environment as consumers, but also limiting our impact when it comes to industry, some of the biggest emissions from some of the greatest greenhouse gas emissions come from, let's say, things like steel production or cattle farming, and so those require a lot more innovation to get rid of. But while we might not be in those industries, we can still do our best to help in that innovation as well.
Thank you. Thank you.
Can I follow up with that? I'm just curious also, Joseph. So let's, because I like kind of examples and stories that kind of cements it for me usually. Mm-hmm. So walk me through, like, what would be an ideal situation of how your platform is leveraged? Like, walk me through like the customer persona or fictitious ideal community member that's using your platform, like what do they do, and what's the outcome?
So I imagine different or different kinds of customers using Terrestrious. So for people who are people who want to pursue their own idea, it could be startups or research, or startups or research. So let's say a university students are working on some kind of climate monitoring device. They can recruit a team of other professionals on the platform and start working out and to start communicating to their ideas to each other and start working on these projects, and then post I guess a weekly or monthly updates on their project, and receive, I guess, feedback from the community, or support through likes, or even money from crowdfunding. Or there's people who are less self-driven, so they might not want to work on their own idea, but they want to join someone else's project, or they want to just go into the industry. So they want to work, see if they can find a job, but a job that is good for the climate, the environment. So work at an ESG, or work at a company that is known to have a very, 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 very little footprint. And I also want to make this a repository for these environmentally friendly or clean tech innovations. So a third customer that I'm actually looking at is investors. One problem that we have in society is our investing strategies are not really good for ESGs. Are not good for ESGs. Angel investing is based off of the premise that, or angel investing usually has less money than VC investing, and the expectation is that the company is acquired in the short term, and then VC investing is that the expectation is the company is going to 10x or 100x in the short term. But ESGs, it takes a long time for these for the investments to pay off. So we need better metrics to actually predict whether or not the company is going to make profit or succeed in the long term. So another customer I'm looking at is investors looking for safe ESGs for these long-term investments. And I mean, the other customer group is one thing I didn't mention is the way we want to make profit off this platform is just by selling ad space. And so the last customer is any business or that wants to run ads on the Terrestrious.
Yeah, Joseph, you're doing fantastic, right? It's taking the courage to present this and the idea. I think it's a big issue, right? And I think that everybody, well, maybe not everybody, right? But many of us struggle with the idea, okay, can I do more, right? It's so that you are right on point right there. One of the things that I'm finding difficult is to, and I totally get it, Joseph, my mind tends to go 1,000 different ways, and when I'm trying to understand the problem. But to present your business idea or your organization in front of people, you need to give people something to grasp on, okay? So that's why many startups or business ideas, whatever they start with something. They have an elevator pitch that goes like, this is Uber for air conditioning filters, or whatever, right? So that you can make a connection really quickly and put them in kind of like your mental bucket for someone who is listening to you the first time. So I'm having a hard time in doing that, right? and it's a human tendency, right? And sometimes it can go wrong and whatever, and we can discuss that. But you want to pick something that you're known for, especially because you're very small and you're starting, right? So pick something. You say, I'm a job board for, environmentally friendly jobs, or I'm a rating, because I heard all these things in what you're saying. I'm a rating mechanism where you can go and I can look up, any business and it will give me a rating on how environmentally friendly it is, right? Or for an investor, the same scenario. So pick one, and I think you need to, I'm sorry. I think at this point you also need to dissociate what is revenue streams from client, from really your mission. Okay, because you mentioned clients, and you also go to the advertising, for example. That's a revenue stream. That's not what you live for. Okay, Google does not live for advertising. They do that to make money, but their mission is to make things easier to find. That's it, right? So I think you need to separate those and try to pick one that it's the one thing that you want to be known for. And you can add things to that and do experiments, right? But I think you need to pick one to be known for because of your size, right? And you cannot be everything for everybody. Does that help at all, Joe?
Yes.
Right? Yeah. And as I said, you're doing great. I mean, you're answering all the questions, everything. As Tiara said, your presentation was short, sweet, straight to the point in the beginning, right? But I think that you're still trying to find your bearing and really make it. So any answers to that? What is the one thing that you want to be known for? If I walk away from this today.
For now, we're just a community for our clean tech projects, I guess. So this is our MVP, a Discord community that we're doing. So we have a post so far from Shark Energy, which is basically wastewater heat recycling that is currently being contracted by the city of Seattle.
Mm-hmm. So this is one of the projects that would be in your solution.
Yes.
Right. Okay. Nice. I think that you have to put this on the deck.
Yes. Is there anything in the chat? So.
No, what came to mind for me was crowdsourcing plus social media. Is that accurate?
It is a social, or like, what do you mean? Or
what came to mind as I was trying to understand what is this? It's like a place for people they can get funding on a project that they're working on. And then also people can like and share and, the things that you do on social media with that same project.
yes.
So it's like combining those two together, which I think is very creative.
Yes. And that's why we have our slogan, crowdsourcing carbon neutral. We're trying to get both the capital and the ideas for solving different environmental problems.
Right. So
right,
people,
Brittany,
yeah.
Or go ahead.
No, that's it for me. I'll pass it to Mr. Matthews.
Hey, hi Dan, hi Kira.
Hello.
I missed a few
Good
weeks.
to see you.
So, Joseph, this isn't a question, more of just coincidence on this one. So yeah, I have my startup, but I do have a 9-to-5 that pays for my startup, right? And coincidentally, I'm the lead system architect for Carbon Direct. So this is what I do for a living, right? So I can tell you a couple hey, here's the things that we struggle with in the business, right? Because we're a Series A company. I mean, we've got 40, 50 scientists that work for the company and stuff like that. But I was just thinking, as the same thing, I'm struggling to, I kind of understand. I totally parrot the same idea. I really need an Uber for X. Got it, right? And moving on kind of thing, right? Because I'm still struggling, I do. Who's his target customer? kind of thing, right? But within that, I can tell you, at least in the climate space, the most difficult things we experience right now, because okay, I might dip into some NDA stuff, so not really. I'll make sure it's clean. But like, one thing I can tell you, the scientists on our team basically go through and vet all the carbon projects out there, whether it be forestry, direct capture, all that stuff like that, and making sure that, you're not buying snake oil. And that's what these enterprise companies pay us to do. There are just not enough projects and carbon on the market right now to even support a single company. So once we do all their carbon accounting and they're like this, okay, you must now buy offsets. I can give you an example like Amex, because remember, this is a voluntary market. Anyone coming in is voluntarily buying this stuff, right? Amex just wanted to offer it as like a voluntary thing for credit card holders. And when we ran their numbers, we're like, even if you were to buy 100% of every available carbon project on the market right now, you still would not be able to have enough inventory to offset your customers. So if you wanted to go that direction and like find new ways and new projects, whether they be forestry, direct capture, I mean, there's like different kinds of like, diesel stuff. And I mean, like the same thing with the other one, like that would be amazing, because I can tell you the companies, Amazon, Microsoft, all the ones we deal with, they want to buy inventory and there isn't enough inventory. So man, if you were to focus on that and trying to get more people into the inventory market, slam dunk. And it's only growing. I mean, we're freaking going through the roof, and we're desperately trying to figure out how to get more inventory, like encouraging more projects to come online.
I mean, yeah, that's why, or I think I should change my presentation to mention that we are focusing on these clean tech projects, and because the principle I'm working on is that once I have this huge repository for these clean tech projects, then I can build a bunch of business models on top of those.
Mm-hmm. Britton, just to clarify, what you're talking about is that there's not enough carbon negative
Correct
offers out there.
Correct.
And from Joe is trying to build a two-sided market for two-sided. Did I say it correctly? So it's an eBay, right? So you have sellers and you have buyers, right? But what you're saying, so this is a very important piece what Britton is giving you, I think. So there is not enough sellers. So that's the way you grow. You don't need buyers, because there is one buyer that finds out about your website and you have enough sellers. You're in business, man, because the buyer is going to gobble up everything that it's out there because there's not enough buyers. So think about a scenario where you have an eBay, and someone is looking to, I don't know, source coffee, and there's no sellers of coffee. And now, you have 500 people who try to sell 1 pound of coffee each, right? This buyer will buy them all. So you don't need to try to find as much buyers as you need sellers.
Correct. Like if you could help sellers figure out a way to bring inventory on the market and be that like help person for that is such a huge problem right now. Like, and I'm telling you, like, I can't list all our customers, but they're all super mega enterprise companies, and they have teams dedicated to working with us to buy inventory.
Here's the other side of the equation. What Britton just said, that's also a golden nugget. Large enterprise customers are looking to buy. Those guys are your sponsors. Those are the guys who are going to put the advertising on your site. Those are the guys who are going to put up a thing, that says, extra whatever. It seems like something really out of place, but they are probably advertising, hey, we want to go carbon neutral, right? So we are sponsoring this guy. So maybe that's the way you raise funds, but you need the other guys, right? Make sense? I love it. I think you have something here, but it's getting it right is the thing, right? And obviously getting traction, right? Traction.
Yeah, all starts with traction.
Hey, Joseph, also, I sent you some resources on StoryBrand that might be helpful too. You know, if you're having, you know, the consensus I'm getting is that like the message that you're putting out there is not quite as refined or as sticky as maybe it could be. And that might be another tool that you might be able to leverage to kind of explain what you're doing or to attract potential community members.
Okay.
Yeah, Dan, can you share that with all of us? I think one thing that would help with that, Joseph, is, and I think, Cuba, you might have said this, but going deeper into the why so that people can have something to kind of hang on to and feel and relate to. So I know you said, you know, part of your why was just figuring out with all this climate change stuff, what role do you play? Like, how can you make a difference? But just going deeper into that, like, why is that important to you? Was there a specific event or feeling that you had that came up about it? And just
Tell a
going really,
story.
really deeper into that. Yes, yeah, tell the story. And what I do when I coach entrepreneurs is just keep asking why. So you're passionate about X, and then why? And then another level, why are you passionate about that? Why is that? So just keep going really, really deep and figuring out what about climate change and sustainability, what about it excites you, and bring that out into a story. And then I think that will help to get people to grasp on, especially if you're presenting to people maybe outside of Seattle where climate change isn't a top priority for them. So just bringing out that story so that they can feel it too and be just a couple degrees passionate as you are.
I'm not sure if my story is that compelling.
I think it's there because why there's a reason you're doing it, right? You know?
I mean, or the story is I was listening to Star Talk by Neil deGrasse Tyson, and my interest was actually more in aerospace application, or specifically terraforming other planets like Venus and Mars. And the point that he brought up was why terraform those other planets when we can't even seem to terraform Earth. And I mean, or that's the reason I started this project. I just couldn't get myself to work on get myself to work on those future projects without getting this project. But that's not really compelling or emotionally driving for anyone.
You got this, Joe. That, I mean, you're underestimating yourself. I love what you just said. It's you know, I'm also an engineer by training, and what we do, you know, we try to make progress, but in the process we screw up our world, right? We build machines that spew fumes out of the tailpipe, right? So why can't we do something that doesn't do that, right? That's the question, right? And it's I think that you're, you know, especially in the tech world, you're preaching to the choir, you know, because 70% of the people that you're going to talk to are techies, right? So that's the story. I think you got it. And now I get the name of your initiative. I didn't get it at first.
Oh.
It's we only got one planet. Is this one? Let's fix this one. Let's migrate to this planet, right? To a better planet. So.
I guess I can, work more along those lines.
Yeah.
Work on the story. Tell it to a lot of people. Go to Starbucks. Speak to people. That's
right.
Make them make you shut up. You know, like, stop, please.
Love it. Any other questions? for Joseph.
Yeah, Joseph, just
How can we help you?
yeah, hit me up anytime you have questions. I have
Yeah.
deep knowledge in this area.
Is do you have your LinkedIn posted on the chat?
We did see that, but it's
Yeah.
it's very easy to remember your name. I go with the case of beer anytime, my friend.
Yeah.
Love it. And then just to, I think someone just asked this, but what can the 1 Million Cups community do for you?
I mean, really just or do what you've been doing so far. Just have opportunities like this where entrepreneurs like me can just practice our presentations so that we can later turn into more refined pitches that because being able to tell our story, that is a huge part of what we're what we're doing.